Welcome along to Articulate's Coffee House and Tea Emporium. My name's Matt, and I think I remember you from last time. Yes, your friend had bought you the deluxe coffee package. Yes. Was it the same friend that has bought you this package today? Okay. Well, it's great to know such lovely people, isn't it? Okay. Now, we have a lot to get through today. As you know, with our packages, we closed the store completely. This is just a one-on-one consultation. We'll sample some of our finest teas and our finest coffees, and as luck would have it, we also have, literally out of the oven, some freshly baked scones that I've looked one aside for you. Okay? We're going to cover that in some really thick clotted cream and some jam or jelly, depending on how you say the word. And everything's going to be fantastic. I'll give you a little bit of background. We went through everything coffee related last time, so we'll focus a little bit more on the tea this time, but we will sample both, okay? Before we start, I just want you to relax, and you're not expected to know anything. I'm the expert here. I'm the tea and coffee connoisseur, allegedly. I'm kidding, you're in safe hands. And it's going to be a really relaxing and hopefully fulfilling experience for you. Okay? We will start off with the teas. Tea has a slightly more subtle taste than coffee, and although we will drink a nice fresh glass of iced water after each tasting, coffee has a habit of kind of cleansing the mouth a little bit and kind of leaving a thickness to it. So we'll start with the tea, so none of the subtleties and the taste is lost when we try the coffee, okay? Good. Okay, I think before we start getting at the hot drinks, I'll prepare your scone first. Do you want the cream, jelly, everything? Okay. Before I do that, I'll just sanitize my hands. Okay. Now, if you're like me, I tend to cover my scone completely. In both jam and cream. So all I'm going to do, I've sliced it in half, and now we're going to layer with, now this jam here. This is freshly made for us by a farm not 2 miles down the road. And it's the same place where our cream is made. So we're taking a nice thick piece and we're going to spread that around. And the key with making the perfect scone is that you spread right to the ends. You want this covered in a very thin, a rather thick layer, an even thick layer of jam. Okay? I'll do the same with the other. You can hear that sugary sweetness noise. It's the best. Again, we're just spread right to the ends. I'm getting hungry just looking at this. I think need a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Now the fun part. Our cream is what's known as clotted cream. Now, clotted cream is a similar consistency to what you would call standard whipping cream, only it has almost a grittiness to it. It's a has a bite and it's such a developed taste. It's lovely. You're gonna love it. Let me swap my knives. Okay. Now the key, the serving cream, is to take a giant wedge full of it. And we take this, expertly handled, I might add. We take our scone and we just lay it down. And we're only spreading quite gently. I want this covered. Now the only lie I will tell you while you're here is that this is calorie free. There we go. Now, I've had people come in the shop before and say, I don't like cream, I don't like jam or jelly. To that I say, providing you're not allergic, let's try and see. Nice wedge of cream. There we go. Okay. Now, these, my friend, are yours. Let me just clean my hands off. My lid back on my cream. I've already made a slightly smaller version of a scone for myself as well, don't worry. It's never nice to eat alone. Now, we will start with our first tea. I think we'll start with a nice, the sweet jasmine. Now, the sweet jasmine, has a very, very subtle, almost delicate taste to it. The sweet jasmine is more of it has an elegance to it, a very, very subtle tone of licorice. I know a lot of people don't like licorice, but I encourage you, don't let that put you off. It has if you know what rose hips are, it's quite a flowery. I think we need to try it. I couldn't possibly give this justice. Now, our tea is actually grown, this tea especially is grown in China. It's picked, pressed and sent to us, almost completely untouched. The bag itself is a pyramid. And the reason we use a pyramid is because it allows for maximum aeration. You'll get the fullest flavour from a pyramid tea bag. And if you can look very closely at the actual structure of the tea, the jasmine pearl green is quite a robust leaf. It holds its shape quite well. A lot of leaves break down very easily in the pressing process, but the jasmine holds its structure. And the smell from the box, it has that jasmine, those rose hip scent, and that undertone of licorice. I can't wait for you to try this. And happy coincidence, it goes perfectly with the scone with cream and jam. What are the chances? Okay, now our tea and coffee mugs. Tea is served in a light brown mug, or a white with a light brown dressing on it, And our coffee is always served with a dark brown label on it, just so you can always identify. I'll go and prepare the tea. I'll come back and we can have a chat over how you find it as we eat our food. Okay? Good. Okay. Here we have it's not boiling hot. We heat our water to 85 Celsius, which is obviously 100 degrees is boiling. The reason for that, take your tea. The reason we don't boil completely, you're burning away a lot of the flavor in tea, as that it's quite a delicate plant. People tend to treat tea and coffee in the same respect, and they're definitely not. Tea has that subtlety to it. Now, the bag should be left in between 1 to 3 minutes. Okay, and we'll try the tea and the coffee without milk. But please have a try. Again, you're met with that jasmine taste. And if you're very, 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 very careful, you can taste the licorice. Now, let's try our scones. Enjoy. The clotted cream has a velvety taste to it. It's thick, but still really light. To think I get paid to do this. I feel very, very lucky. Of course, followed by a sip of tea. How are you finding the jasmine blend? I said a lot of people don't like licorice. And when they hear the word, they think, oh no, there's no way I can possibly like this. But they always do. Do you know the history behind tea? It's said that the Chinese emperor, Shen Yun, I think his name was Shen Yun, N-U-N-G, I think in 2700 BC, 2737, I think it was, if memory serves me. Legend has it that he was sat beneath a tree, and one of his assistants was brewing water. And the story goes that a breeze blew some of the leaves of the tree into the teacup, which I guess at that point was a water cup. And the emperor observed a staining and a coloration of the water. And he tried it. And this apparently was how tea came to be. Now the kind of tree, I think it was a Camellia sensis. But this led to them, I guess, experimenting with different kinds of leaves from different plants. One being what we now call tea plants. And so, tea was born. Okay. Let me take another bite of my scone. And then we'll try our second cup of tea. Okay. So that was the sweet jasmine. This is one of our most subtle blends, but extraordinarily tasty. Okay. Drink a little glass of water just to cleanse the mouth. I will too. There we go. I almost forgot the lid of my jam. I do not need that all over the floor. Okay, you're smiling. You're feeling relaxed. Great. Next, we have the Pure China Green Sension. Now, this is a little stronger. It's still light. It's quite crisp. It has a refreshing, almost citrusy nature to it. It's not a citrus tea, but it's, while still light, it has more of an immediacy than the Jasmine. This is actually my personal favorite tea blend. I think you're gonna like this. Let me make us up a couple of cups. Okay. Here we have the Pure China Sweet Sension. Try this one. Now, again, it's important to actually inspect the leaves themselves, and you'll notice these are far finer. In the pressing process, as I said, these break down far more. There's just less rigidity to the plant structure itself. And I think that's what helps it give it that immediacy in its taste, as opposed to the slow release of the Jasmine. Please, have a try. Again, the back should come out between, I would leave this 1 to 2 minutes as opposed to 1 to 3. The Jasmine, you can allow for that extra period of strength, whereas with Sweet China, I recommend leaving it quite as long. This is my favorite tea blend. It's such a I said it's light, but it has that crisp citrusy to it, which I love. But of course, as before, no cup of tea is complete without a few mouthfuls of scone. I'm going to be really greedy. Forgive me. Okay. How are you finding the green sencha? That's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. The green sencha just happens to be my perfect blend of tea. It has all the facets, at least for me, of perfect cup of tea. Okay, now have a, again, big drink of water, and we have 2 coffee blends to try. All right, coffee, as I said, we can try with and without milk. We'll try without, because obviously it's far easier to try coffee with adding milk than trying to remove it. I'm not that skillful. That might come as a surprise to you. And I apologize. Sometimes I can get a little bit carried away. I'm very, very enthusiastic about coffee and tea. But this is a relaxing experience, okay? There's no pressure, the money's been paid. You just get to sit here and soak up the ambience and the whole experience, okay? Now, the two types of coffee we're going to try. This is an Italian blend, and this is actually the coffee bean we ground and roast, or rather we roast and grind our own coffee beans here on site. There aren't many coffee houses that do this. You might see coffee houses grinding beans, but you'll never see them roasting, or very rarely will you see them roasting. We do roast our own beans. And of course we elaborated quite a lot on the roasting process and the experience in our last trip to your coffee house. Yes. Okay. The Italian is, as you can see, it's a number 4. Now, number 4, I guess you would classify as, number 3 would be a medium roast. Number 4 is, I guess, what you call a dark medium. And it sits between a really dark roast and a medium roast, surprisingly enough. But what you can expect is quite a... Again, it has citrus overtones, but it has that body of a dark roast. It's a very, very, very carefully blended coffee bean, and I really, really, really enjoy it. It's not my favorite blend, but it's one of. It's definitely my favorite medium dark roast. Definitely. It's, I can't wait for you to try it. Okay. We obviously have our beans pre-blended. I'll go and brew us a nice couple of mugs. You can come back and you can try it for yourself. Okay? Sure. Okay. Here. You have the Italian blend. Let me get mine. Now, we'll try it without milk. And straight away, you're met, as I said, citrusy overtone with chocolate undertones. It's almost like a bittersweet chocolate. Full-bodied. But it doesn't have the pure strength of a 5 or a 6. It's just 4 for me is if you're comfortable with a medium roast and you're looking to maybe step up into a dark roast one day, like a Spanish roast or something, then the Italian is perfect. I love my job so much. And of course, complemented perfectly by the second half of our scone. Of course, if you want to try it with milk, ice cold. Just pass me your cup. Okay. I'll give it a little stir for you. And there you are. I'll do the same. Now I have a very sweet tooth, so the milky and the creaminess of the milk complements for me coffee perfectly. There are 1 or 2 coffee connoisseurs that assure you should never muddy coffee with milk. I say whatever tastes good should be explored. If you enjoy something and it's not harming anyone, go ahead and do it. If you want to add condensed milk to your coffee, do it. If you want to add whipped cream to your coffee, do it. I don't care. All we do here in our coffee and tea emporium is encourage people to enjoy their hot beverages in whatever manner feels good for you. How do you find the Italian? Come to think of it. Good. Sure. I can understand that. Let me take one more bite of my scone. And we'll move on to the final coffee. And I've saved something very special. Not only do you get my favorite tea blend, you get my absolute favorite coffee blend. Okay. Again. Cleanse with water. Okay. Now last, but by no means least, we have the Peruvian. Now, the Peruvian, this coffee plant is actually grown on the Andes. Of course, it's way, way up high. And because of that, it has a perfectly maintained temperature and it sees a lot of rain, which is actually ideal coffee growing. Environment. It's just the absolutely perfect scenario to grow perfect coffee. Now the Peruvian, it's a strength 5, as you'll see here, which means it's considered a dark roast. Now, when we're talking dark roast, what we mean is that the coffee bean, as I explained before, is roasted until it pops twice. The first, I think, is the water releasing, and the second is your carbon dioxide releasing from the bean. Now, a dark roast is actually scorching the coffee bean a little bit, so you're going to have charcoal undertones. Very subtle, it's not unpleasant, but you're going to taste that charcoaliness. But it's going to be superseded almost always by a very strong, velvety, intense, it has a walnut taste to it as well, the Peruvian beans. And especially this blend here, you'll probably get some almond as well. I'm very, very excited for you to try this. Very excited. Okay, so this pack here is already pre-ground. Now again, we do roast and grind our own beans, but this particular batch here, we do the grinding and the roasting, but we sell it actually as pre-ground. So all you need is what we call a percolator, the one with the little pushy top down. Add this to it, boiling water, and press down. And you'll notice I did say boiling water. I think coffee, as I said, explained, it's important that it's served with, I think hot coffee is a little bit more important than hot tea, if that makes any sense. Both should be warm, but coffee should be boiling hot, at least when it's served. Okay, let's get going. And here is your Peruvian blend. Enjoy. said, you're met with a walnut almond overtone, very slight charcoal undertone from the roast. It's got so much flavor. As I said, your taste buds are met with that initial nut overtone, and the charcoal just comes about halfway down your esophagus. Actually, you can just taste that. Little bit of burn, essentially, but for some reason it tastes amazing. I don't even know why, but it does. Now, I'm going to let you try it with milk. I'm actually not going to add milk to mine because I just enjoy it so much. I have tasted both ends before. Pass your cup. Just a splash. Quite literally. Oh, let me start. There you go. How do you find that? Good. Well, as I said, you're at the 5 end of the scale now, and a dark roast is, I guess, considered more of a coffee lover's kind of coffee. Having said that, I enjoy a cinnamon roast, which is 1 on the scale. It's where the bean is roasted, but barely. You wait till the first pop of the water releasing, and then the bean is ground from there. I love a cinnamon roast, and I said right up to a Spanish roast, which is right at the end of the scale. Yes. But the Peruvian at a 5 is just lovely. This is a perfect way to kickstart your day without, going too crazy with something like a Spanish roast. I'm going to have the last bite of my scone. I'm just about full. Lovely. Cheers. Okay. No, please. Keep drinking. Finish up your coffee. That does bring us to an end, unfortunately. I hope you've enjoyed yourself even half as much as I have enjoyed myself. I've been here for quite a long time. I own the shop itself, and the only reason I started the shop was because I wanted to find a platform that enabled me to share the love I have for tea and coffee with everyone else. And to be able to find out and discover I could do that for a living was like winning the lottery. Even better, because winning the lottery kind of gives you everything all at once. I had to work towards this. So I feel very, very fortunate, and I'm so glad people like yourself can come in and enjoy the experience without worry about being judged for not knowing something or maybe liking something that isn't considered. For example, cinnamon roasts. People get a little bit embarrassed when they say, oh, I like a weak coffee. I don't like the strong black coffees. Am I okay to be here? Of course you are. Everyone is welcome. It's my absolute pleasure. Thank you. No, just finish your coffee, and as I said, when you go to leave, I'll give you a little goodie bag of both coffees, both teas, and I'll also send you home with 4 scones as well, as part of the package. It's my pleasure. I'm also going to throw in a little tub of clotted cream for you, and of course, a little jar of strawberry jam. No, it's my treat. That isn't part of the package, but I can't help myself. When I find somebody as enthused as I am, I have to. Okay, thank you so much for coming along today.